Hey, Zefton, I wanted to leave you some feedback on Essay 2. Um, so I think that there's some good work in this essay. I do think I see the beginning of a thesis statement, and I see some good analysis um, going on. I do think that this essay does need another round of revision, and so I'd like to spend some time talking with you about that. First off, you need to make sure that you are formatting your paper correctly. This paper is not formatted correctly in MLA. There is a tutorial located in the course home folder. And at this point, at week 9 of the semester, you should be formatting your paper correctly. Also, I see that you did indeed include an image connected to Blackboard here, but that's not what the assignment asked you to do. You were supposed to create an appendix, and we talked about how to format appendix in class. So as I said before, I think that there is some good analysis in this paper. However, you do need to give this essay a good round of revision for sentence clarity, comma splices, um, and informal tone and unnecessary repetition. Um, so you are missing commas in your compound sentence here. You should not be using second person you. Um, you have a comma splice at this moment. I think that you have the beginning of a thesis statement here, but I would not consider this a visual analysis thesis statement. So you need to identify um, the visual techniques that you will be using to analyze the essay and state those clearly in your thesis statement. I would also recommend making this a new paragraph here, separating your introduction and your thesis, or excuse me, yes, your introduction and your thesis from where your description of the picture actually begins. You have some grammatical errors here along with informal tone. So what you would want to say here is you just want to use past tense as if he saw a ghost. However, this would be considered a colloquialism, meaning that it's an informal phrase that we use in everyday speech, but it's not something that should be used in professional writing. So you avoid colloquialisms, sayings, things like that. That. I don't think that there's any indication, and I think I said this in your rough draft, that the individual is an African man. I think we're supposed to interpret that he's an African American man. So I think that you need to remain true to what the image actually portrays. I do think that your paragraphs become a little, or your paragraph becomes a little disorganized here because you're making multiple points in a single paragraph, and you need to focus on one main idea per paragraph. I'm going to disagree with you here. I do think that racial injustice has caught the attention of people for many generations. In fact, that was the cause of the Civil War. And there were many abolitionists for decades, before the Civil War. So I'm going to disagree with what you're saying at this point. However, I think that you can say that attention to racial injustice has become amplified this year. I think that that would be an accurate statement. However, as this stands now, I think this does need some revision. So I do think that there are some good ideas in this paper, but I think that it needs another round of revision for formatting, editing, and then also overall structure. So I recommend doing a reverse outline like we talked about in class. So I would create an outline where you clearly identify your thesis statement outside of the text. I think that you don't quite have one yet, so you're going to need to write one. From there, you need to draft key ideas that will support your thesis, and then from there, you need to start building in the evidence that would support your key ideas. So if you have any questions about revision, please reach out and ask them. All right, thanks.